Okay.
Talk to me. Thursday. What happened?
Poor. One at the races. Simply, you can't dress it up anyway. Different to that, I think. You go into a game of that magnitude, you got to be able to perform. The first minute of the game, you got to be on the front foot. And I think they finished that. They started that game the way they finished the last game. You go 2-0 up at Old Trafford. Throwing that away was disastrous, and that just continued into the second leg.
You know, can I ask him a question quickly? You know, like, if the second string centre-halves come in, right, do you think they still should be expected to play the same way that maybe like Martinez and Luke Shaw playing at centre-half, who you know are ball players? Do you still think that the manager should still go, you know what, we're still playing the same way? Or should he adapt it and go, not 100% sure they can do this, let's just go a bit longer?
I think the teams that we play, you didn't really adapt for individuals. The team is the way we play, and everybody has to adapt to the way that we play, and you recruit for that as well. You're talking about the Maguire goal, when the ball got played into him.
Because you know, I think I think personally, like De Gea's at fault as well as Maguire, but it was obviously the way that Man United play. But maybe if Luke Shaw's in there, maybe he gets out of it. Or maybe he's in a different position to receive the ball.
I saw a clip online. Martinez got the ball in exactly the same position in a game previous to that, and he got out of it. He took a touch, and it's just it's not adapting the tactics for the team. It's when you play a ball to an individual, you know what that boy is capable of. So you play it and you go, he can deal with this under pressure from 2 or 3 different people. Whereas if you know that player can't, I would always probably veer away from that. And I think that's where David De Gea made the wrong choice in that instance.
Well, to be fair, Twitter was awash with views on the game and what went wrong, and this one actually matches up nicely with what you just said. Josh has tweeted that it took 2 brand new centre-backs to make Man United look semi-serious. Without them, defence returns to a disorganised shambles. And I mean, it feels a little bit harsh, because at some points it's like United fans are going, we're 1 striker away, and at other points it goes, we need a major overhaul, we need 2 new centre-halves, we need this. What is actually the way to fix United? Where do you think they need to strengthen?
I think it's only Manchester City that if you take their 2 first-choice centre-halves out of their team, they can still deal with that. It's only Manchester City. If you take Saliba and Gabriel out of Arsenal, they will not be the same. So Man United are in the same boat, and unfortunately, Lindelof and Maguire come into the team, and it looked shaky the other day. But I don't think it was just down to them. The whole team were not at the races. I don't think you could just go, the centre-halves, they're the problem. No. I think the whole team was shaky. There was a lack of almost fight and belief and idea in the whole game. And they've got, I think the lucky thing for Man United is they're in a position where they've got a big game now this weekend. They ain't going to just roll into another game and it's a bit of a nothing key occasion. This is a big game. Semi-final, FA Cup, they have to produce.
I was going to say, it's been 10 years. It's not a fun it's not a fun date to remember. 10 years since Man United last won the title. Is that something that is in your mind? Do you think it'll be in the players' minds? Is that a date that kind of rings true?
I don't think you look at stuff like that as players, do you? You don't. I wouldn't.
For you, it'd be 100 years since Tottenham last won.
He's come back. He's come back.
1-1.
I'll let him have it. I'll let him have it.
He's got the jab out like that.
It's in black and white.
All right, I'll let you have it. They can't be thinking about that team. You know, Man United teams post kind of like Rio's era, I've been chasing it, you know, ever since kind of like Fergie left. They can't be thinking, it's 10 years since we won a title. It's not going to have any bearing on. It's not going to go in a positive manner if they were thinking like that, would it?
No, you've got to look at the job in hand. They have got a massive game. They've got Brighton, who are a team that we were talking before. They've put it to everyone this season. They're hard to play against. No one's worked them out yet. Man United have got to sit and do that. Don't worry about us. Don't be thinking about us. And I think the players that are there now, they have to use yesteryear's players as fuel. That's what I've done. I walked in, listen, the squad I went to was successful and they had a culture of winning. But I, as an individual, came into that, hadn't won anything. So I'm looking around and thinking, what can I take from these guys? But also, the other guys, Brian Robson, the Bobby Charltons that are walking around the corridors and there were the voices around like I am now. But I didn't see that as an intimidating factor. I want to be like these guys.
But Rio, I think that's the issue. Bits and pieces of the fabrics of what Manchester United are and were in and around the place when you were there. You know, Roy Keane was still in the building, and he kind of connected you to that kind of like Steve Bruce era that connected you to the Paul Ince era, and then it kind of like it trailed on, and then obviously holding it all together, you had the manager Sir Alex Ferguson. when you walk in there now,
Foundations
what
are
is there?
different,
Who is
yeah.
there for these players to cling on to in terms of actually, apart from pictures, obviously,
Yeah.
But I think that's what they have to do. Like, I was lucky, I was fortunate. I went into an environment that was used to winning, was winning at the time. Hadn't won a year before, but it was the guys there had won a lot of stuff. This is very different for these players that come into this and that are there now. They've got no one to look at other than pictures, other than voices, other than film. But you've got to use that. Find what it is that can actually help you get back to that.
Yeah.
Obviously, you need the foundations and the management and the players to do that, but you've got to grab onto whatever it is you can find to help. Don't use the past as a hindrance.
Yeah.